Blaze Johnson and Tony Ketchum are getting ready to install a new furnace in the first part of the heating and cooling upgrade. The guys are installing several different components, which include the furnace itself, the coil that sits above it, an air purifier, and a humidifier. It all goes together pretty quickly because they're all from the same manufacturer, so one piece is designed to go with the others, and that includes the control system as well. They're set up to communicate and work with each other so that once the guys hook up the control cables, the system is pretty much ready to go. What's nice is that one controller will handle them all rather than two or three that don't talk to one another. The wall is going to be less cluttered and it's going to be really clear what controls what. Companies are constantly developing innovative products. Sometimes it's hard to keep track of all of them. So we have Carl Zia here to get us up to speed on this furnace, which comes in at a very high efficiency rating, right?
That's right, Miriam. Furnace efficiencies are specified in AFUE, or annual fuel utilization efficiency. It's a little bit like miles per gallon for your car. So this particular model line is offered in efficiencies as high as 97.4%, which means that if you're giving the furnace, let's say 100,000 BTUs per hour, that 97.4% of that is going to be extracted and delivered to the homeowner in useful heat.
Now, I know I grew up with a furnace that was constantly going on and off with a lot of air, a lot of noise. So how is this one different?
This one's very different. This one contains modulating technology. Rather than being on and off, this one can modulate from 40% of its firing rate all the way up as high as 100% of its firing rate. So there's a modulating gas valve that moves in 1% increments of the firing rate. There's an ECM blower motor that can vary its speed depending on the particular heating capacity that the furnace is supplying. And there's also an ECM variable speed inducer motor, which is the combustion blower that's pulling air in from the outdoors for the combustion process and then pushing the vent products back out of the home. So all those work together, and depending on whether the home is experiencing a mild winter day or whether it's in a very, very cold winter day, it would run at very low capacity on those mild days, but it'll run at full capacity on a very cold outdoor day.
Well, it sounds like something like that would take up a lot of space, but this actually is quite compact.
Yes, this furnace is 35 inches tall. This particular one is 17.5 inches wide. But because we've been putting so much more effort into developing compact heat transfer technologies, the primary and secondary heat exchangers in this product allow us to keep the size very low, despite the fact that it's a very high efficiency.
And actually, looking inside, I did notice it looks a little bit different than some of the other units that we've put in. So is that because of the way it vents?
It is. There's some new features in there for venting flexibility. In this particular installation, this is an upflow orientation. However, homes in some cases need a horizontal or a downflow. So unlike other types of furnace designs, rather than having to take a lot of hardware out of the furnace and reinstall it in a different position, we have an item in this furnace called a rotating vent elbow. So if the installer decides that it's easier to vent the furnace through the side of the casing or through the top, or in the case of a downflow, downward through the product, this can be very conveniently rotated from one position to another without time-consuming steps to take various parts out of the furnace and put them back in again.
And this is also the air handler for the heat pump, which will go in later, and the air purifier and the humidifier, right?
That's right. This provides airflow regardless of heating mode. And because it's a variable speed ECM blower, this can run at very low CFMs to the home or very low volume of airflow running through your home, or it can also vary all the way up to full blower capacity and provide a lot of air movement when you may need more heat being delivered to the home. These furnaces are also much quieter. This is the quietest furnace that Carrier has produced, and the features that allow us to do that are, number one, green speed intelligence. The modulating capability of the furnace allows it to run at much lower RPM, so there's less airflow noise through the casing. Also, the casing is fully insulated and there's gaskets around all the doors, and all of these things contribute to a very quiet operation.
Yep, and it'll all be controlled by this one controller.
Yes, the Infinity thermostat.
Yes. Well, this is a lot of information. It sounds like it's going to be really efficient, so thanks for your help.
Thank you very much, Miriam.